Hello and welcome to Hospitality Insights. My name is Sam-Erik and I'm your host today. I'm really happy about the show that we're going to have today because we have a very interesting topic we're going to talk about, which is about how we can get the tourism off the ground. Particularly now we are slowly but surely getting over the pandemic, and people are now ready to take their plans and make bookings for their next trip. And of course, there are many places that you can visit. But today we're going to talk about a very exciting location in the Central Europe, Slovenia. And my guest today is Jaka Godejša, who is the coordinator from Locals from Zero. And I was wondering, what does that Locals from Zero mean? And well, today you will find out what is it all about and what makes this grassroots community exciting, and what all the countries with the tourism could learn, particularly because we are dealing with a country that has what I would coin boutique tourism, where there is no mass tourism like many other countries have. And so they will be relying on how to surface these hidden treasures of service providers there are many of them in Slovenia, and many of the locals don't even know what is on the other side of Slovenia, what is available. So that's why this makes it very interesting. Well, this show is basically, I'm very happy that we have a partnership with Malta Hotel and Restaurant Association, Visit Malta, Winning.training, which is the online portal, providing excellent online courses for hospitality industry workers, but also for leadership, also to polish up their skills. Also, the Mediterranean Tourism Foundation is a great supporter, and Visit Malta and the Ministry of Tourism and Consumer Protection in Malta is our partners for this show. So again, I'd like to say thank you very much to all of you who are joining here, and give a thumbs up here to let us know that you are here watching the show. We greatly appreciate it. And if you still write in where you are viewing from, I'll give you a shout out, and that will be something that I want to share with everyone, that how we are being viewed from different parts of the world. But without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Jaka Godejša, who is the coordinator from Locals from Zero, and Hospitality Insight starts now. Hello, Jaka, and welcome.
Hello to you too. Thank you for having me.
Well, very happy that you are taking the time, and we have a few people already saying hello. There is Sam Björklund in Finland who want to say hello, and so he's watching this very interesting show today. And now, Jaka, we have talked a few times before, and in fact, last week I was talking to your colleague Rudy about the tourism from zero, and now we are talking about the locals from zero, and so this is a very interesting topic and discussion. But for those who don't know Jaka, he's the coordinator of Locals from Zero, and coming from the Faculty of Tourism Studies at Portorož, Slovenia, the university there that has an excellent tourism program, and many of these seeds to this whole concept has been grown from out of that university. And I understand that Jaka is interested in e-tourism, innovation, experience design, building community for tourism, and with the stakeholders at the ideas from zero. So this is something that many of our viewers will be excited to learn what it's all about. So Jaka, before we start, can you share something about yourself and how you got started, and to where you are from, how you got started and where you are now, just so we know Jaka a little bit more.
Yeah, of course. So I'm 22-year-old, finishing my bachelor studies at the Faculty of Tourism in Touristica for Portorož, Slovenia. But I already started joining in the tourism industry when I was like 15, when I went to the high school for hospitality. And then I started doing my first summer jobs there because I had to do my practice. And even after that, when I was like 18, I started working in the hospitality as a receptionist at the campsite we have here at the coast. It's actually the biggest campsite that we have in whole Slovenia. But I actually didn't know that when I applied for the job. I was thinking that I will have a nice calm summer job, that I will have a few guests to check in and check out. And that says to you how much we even don't know about our own regions, because there are some like closed resorts that we actually don't visit as a locals, right? But then when I went there to work, and I saw that it's a campsite with 300 places, and that the job is not easy at all, and you have to be really fast learner to really do the job well. And after that, I started to explore more projects. I actually found myself that I enjoy working with people, and that I enjoy working in the research and development projects that my university offers, and so on. So that's about me.
Oh, excellent. Now, the whole idea about tourism from zero and locals from zero, how did that get started? What were sort of the initial ideas to get you all together to do something very unique?
Yeah, so the start of the initiative is actually the Tourism from Zero initiative that was co-founded by my mentor, Dr. Dejan Križaj, and the Earth organization and the Tourism 4.0 organization. And the idea behind Tourism from Zero is to collect as many insights as possible from the tourism stakeholders and from all other people as well, to say what can we change during this pandemic, what kind of challenges do people face during this pandemic, and what can we do better in the future. And we collected almost 900 responses from this survey right now, and one of the ideas came from our faculty as well, from my colleague Tadej, and the idea was about helping the local providers, and that's how the Locals from Zero initiative got started.
No, very good. And then what happened after that? Because I know that you created something more than getting particular guides or scouts to explore the areas, and also to create something even more than that.
Yeah, so our idea is not just to build a standard marketplaces. Those already exist and we know them. But we saw the opportunity to somehow help those local providers and build some kind of a support system around them. Because once we looked on these most famous portals that we know, we saw that there are no experiences really in Slovenia, or not as many as we thought we know in our local environments. And we said, okay, we can maybe create a different model of how the system should work. And we should create some kind of a bottom-up approach where you give the opportunity to young people who want to activate local tourism in their own region, and try to give them a marketplace that works and rewards those scouts for their work.
But this is very typical in many countries where you have the mainstream tourism, and we have few people here who are from different countries. And allow me just to say a few hellos. We have a good friend, Dr. Barbaros Kon. Hello, Dr. Barbaros. Good to see you, and thank you very much for joining in. Turkey is another country that has fantastic treasures. We have Detlef Winter, friend from Baden-Baden in Germany, joined. Thank you very much for joining us. Glad that you could join us also. So now the key is that now if I love to go to Slovenia, because the more I hear about it, it's a mystery that I want to able to get to see even more. And if I go to one of the usual suspects of portals about where I should go. I usually refer to two things: go to Ljubljana, and then go to maybe some island in the middle of a lake, and then. But then, when I was talking with yourself and your colleagues, we found that there is so many things you can do, and what are the things that you have learned now all through this process about those different service providers that are available, and what was the major challenge? Because now you're coming in as a digital native, I call it, and you can able to help them to surface there as a service provider.
Yeah, so I'm as well not just a coordinator on the project, but I as well work as a scout in my region. And it was an excellent opportunity for me to start making contacts and to network a bit and get really to know my region inside out. And in the beginning, I was afraid that when I would approach those providers, they would not see the value, right? What I was bringing to the table, and they would say, "Okay, you're a bit too young. Maybe we shouldn't cooperate with you." But actually, the experience was the opposite, right? I didn't know these people. I did hear about them on some maybe local news, or I thought they are interesting, but I didn't have a real connection with them. So when I called them, I had to present myself, and I said, "We are doing this and that. We try to empower you, that you become visible on the tourist map once the pandemic is over." And they were all willing to participate. So I have 3 providers in my region that I work with, and they all agreed for me that I went there, visited them, talked to them in person, explained what our project was about. But interestingly, like, I didn't have anything to show, because at the beginning we really went with a startup like lean method. I had nothing to show. I didn't have a whole marketplace to show of how we are building that, because now it's different. I have a minimal viable product that I can show. I even know that we are working on a platform that is new, it's improved, and it's working, it's beautiful. But at the beginning, I didn't have anything, but they were all willing to participate. So this tells me that people actually want to be approached, and they want to be helped. So they are aware of the issue, that they are not visible on the tourism map. Just they don't have the skill set. Maybe they don't have the time or the resources, and they would actually need somebody to help them do these first steps in becoming digitally native and present and bookable. Which is really important for the trends of the tourism that we are going that are in front of us.
Yeah. Could you give some examples of the kind of service providers, or what kind of things would be able to experience, or what kind of programs you have, or places to visit at the moment? How far you are in this project?
Yes, of course. So I will just talk from my experience from my 3 providers. So one experience is a wine tasting in I call it a forgotten village, because the village is literally frozen in time, because it's protected for already 30 years. So there is no major, you cannot do a lot of changes to the architecture of the place. And actually in 2002, the village was abandoned. Nobody lived in it. And then slowly this family moved back to the village, because they tried to start up their own farm that was left there from their family. And now they are trying to have a nice tourism farm where they can produce their own produce and their wine and their oil and so on. But because the village is so remote, the mobile signal is really weak. There is even not running water yet in the village. So that's how far behind the village itself is. even though it's only 30 minutes by car away from our major city that we here live. And of course, these people are not present on. They don't have a website. They don't have any social media presence. So it's really hard for people to find them. So how could a foreign tourist actually find this tourism farm? Almost impossible. And with me approaching them and with our project, we could really write the text. We could take the photos for the experience and then put it out on our marketplace. So now actually it's bookable. You can book this experience at our website with a few clicks. And because of how our model works, I get the reservation and I can then talk to them by phone and tell them that they have guests coming. So I think we are solving actually here an issue that is happening for those really small and remote local providers. And not only that we are solving this problem, we can actually stay in touch with them. And, me as a scout, I can help them create a support system and educate them on how they should create their experiences. So they are, they're not... they don't accept a group of 50 of people in those remote villages, but they can create experiences for 2 to 5 people. So it's really boutique in terms of with our strategy of Slovenia. Yeah.
Now, then, for someone who may not know about you, how will they find you? I mean, your portal or your website where you are offering these the different options, things to do.
Yeah, of course. So we are currently, our beta version is live on www.localsfromzero.org. And of course, now in the recent weeks when things are starting slowly to open up, me, Rudi, and Tadej, we are having those strategic meetings on how we are actually going to promote, of course, the platform itself. So that's one of the most important steps that we are now discussing, because, of course, firstly, we said that we need to create this marketplace for foreign tourists. But actually, this first season that is coming right now, we are not yet sure how many foreigners we will have in our country. So we are trying to adjust our strategy on how we will market our marketplace for Slovenians. But because we have such great boutique experiences, we actually think that all those experiences are ready to be booked for Slovenians as well, because most of them were not present on any digital platform yet. So they are quite a novelty for everyone else. So I think we will make it with our home market as well, and it will be a great testing season of our model and of our platform. So for the beginning.
I agree with you. I think it's good to do it as a step by step and get the good foundation. It's a long haul game, I call it, or race that you are doing. So no quick fixes, but you are setting it up properly and step by step expand this, and that your good testing ground is at how you are attracting the Slovenian, the domestic travel first of all, and then expand to international. There's a question coming from Sam Björklund from Finland. Will you try to integrate your system with a larger booking network in the future? Is that something that you are considering, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we are discussing that actually. In the recent weeks, we had a lot of discussions about that. That's of course one of the steps that we can take in the future, and we want to take. But firstly, we, as you said before, we have to do our own steps first and test out everything, because we started actury. We bootstrapped our company basically. So that means that we haven't got any investors, or we didn't put in our money, but we first we did educational workshops around Slovenia, and with that money we started building our marketplace. And of course, these affiliations modes are costing money, so we will do our steps first, and of course in the future we will want to integrate as well.
Okay, very good. Yeah, very good. Now this is very, very interesting because, of course, Slovenia has a tourism agency or a tourism association. What is their reaction to your activities with the official tourism officials in Slovenia? Have you had a chance to talk to them? Is it something that they are interesting to support you with?
I think we haven't really had the chance yet to talk to the officials, but we got some confirmations that we are on the right path, especially from more regional destinational management organizations, because we conducted workshops there. And we even talked with them and asked them what do they say about what are their challenges of their providers, and we really saw a natural fit of what we are doing. So even let's say one region in West Slovenia, already a person who works at the destinational management organization is also a Locals from Zero scout. So we integrated ourselves in the destinations as well, because they support our vision and they see that because most of the destinations, that smaller ones, don't actually have a booking system yet, and we are serving them with our solution, so they can use that. And I think a lot of first of all, a lot of smaller organizations will join, and slowly with the bottom-up approach, we will come to the national level as well, and probably, hopefully, we will find a natural fit for our work as well. Yeah.
Yeah, really good. How I found out about you was that I had a discussion with one of the professors in University of Eastern Finland and their tourism faculty, and he mentioned about you. So you have exposure in the academics of what you've been doing. Was there some sort of a competition or a presentation that you have made in the past, so you have got some recognition already?
Yeah, actually, we participated as a team on the Enter conference that is quite well known in the academics circles of e-tourism. And we didn't really compete with the Locals from Zero idea. We did a bit of a different version of it. We presented one kind of a new types of experiences that we could serve on our Locals from Zero marketplace, and that is the community events. Because in Slovenia, we have a lot of local associations who organize a lot of different events that you can attend, but they are meant for local people to gather and to build their community and to preserve their heritage and so on. But a lot of these associations are dying out because all of these events are non-profit. And young people are moving out of villages and are moving into the cities, trying to earn the income, and they're not so interested in helping out with these non-profit events. And so we said, why wouldn't we offer them space on our platform where they have a booking availability? They can book the event, and why can't they offer a few tickets to these local events for tourists to enter the backstage? And that, of course, is a huge academic thing, when that tourists are searching for the authenticity and they try to enter the real backstage. And those local events are the real backstage, that they are happening because of the local community, not because of the commodification of tourism. And with this idea, we came into the finals of the Enter conference. So we went into top 5 of the competition. We didn't win them, another idea won, but it was still a really good opportunity to share what we are doing in Slovenia and how we are thinking about tourism.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And I mean, I was just, can you imagine how I found about you? I mean, this is quite a distant possibility, but this is how this digital transformation and all this communication works, where you just hear about from one day to another. And then I contacted you and your friends, and then that's how we got into a conversation. And here we are having the second episode. And now we have more people who are viewing. So that's my little contribution to what you're trying to do.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, thank you. Yeah.
We have another friend, who also a viewer from Hong Kong, Julia Monk. So hello, Julia. Nice to see you here. Thank you very much for joining in. For any of you who are viewing, any questions that you have for Jaka, this is a good chance to any questions, any comment that you have. Do you think what they're doing is valuable? Is this something that may be applicable to where you are from? Are there some hidden secrets and tourism places that you feel that are so local that not even the majority of the people who live in the country are seeing that, and this could be the way to give the locals the chance to showcase some of the traditional arts or whatnot that could provide an experience for international travelers, because we have this buzzword called experiential travelers, people who want to experience something else. They want to learn about themselves while they are going on a holiday. They just don't want necessarily to be on a sandy beach along the Adrian Sea, but they want to actually explore and wouldn't mind going to get their work with their own hands to maybe on a vineyard or a herbal farm that creates teas and so on. These are the small things that are great things for your own mental wellness and opportunity. So those are the things that I think are quite interesting. So any questions that you have from the viewers who want to share, what are their thoughts about this? Is something that could work in your part of the world? So we welcome those, and any questions for Jaka would be are welcome. But I have a question that I want to ask you. And our world is changing more in the next 10 years than it has in the last 100 years, according to a futurist, Gert Leonard. What changes do you see possibly happening in the next 10 years in Slovenia, looking at the type of things you are doing?
Yeah, of course, technology brings a lot of options. I wouldn't say that Slovenians are like early adopters, so I'm not sure how much can happen in the 10 years. In the 10 years, I hope that our work is really important, because we are making some foundations to create a support environment for tourism stakeholders to actually help those providers who are left behind right now, and help them catch up and accelerate the adoption rates of technology for everyone. So in the future, hopefully we will be in time with trends, because I think in the next 10 years, big changes are coming if we take a look on the world globally, right? So I think the mobility sector, it's going to have a big revolution with the self-driving cars that will basically become some sort of an entertainment system, maybe even an information center and a tour guide combined. And that brings a lot of changes. And if we want to have all those AIs working instead of us, we have to put all the information actually online and not keep it offline like we sometimes do in our remote villages, because those AIs won't find any information available if we don't put it online and digitize it. So yeah.
Well, that's a very interesting idea that your vehicle will become the entertainment center for you to go from one place to another, and you don't really actually have to drive it, but it's actually transports you to the location that you wish, and because I think with the technology at that stage already, you will not be going to a crowded place, because it will say, well, no, I think we have a limit of so and so many persons, but we'll take you to another place which there are very few people there for you to get the more valuable experience.
Yes, I agree with that, and they will become, basically they will determine where you will go, right? But if they will have the information, so that's one of the important aspects. And then again, as you mentioned last week with Rudy, the blockchain technology and tokenization of the economy. Imagine having some sort of tokens that reward you for being sustainable, for making sustainable choices when traveling, and actually earning some tokens that you can then spend on local experiences. Or maybe, there will be tokens there, or I think maybe they even already exist, that you can buy and off-put your input, the CO2 input when traveling, right? So these are all the things that are coming. So I'm looking forward to it, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all. There's a lot of things that it's going on at the moment, and we just don't realize how the progress is going in front of our eyes. And once it's here, we realize, yeah, that's how it is. I mean, just imagine that this device that we are called a mobile device was just a phone, and now it's a device for providing solutions to our problems. We don't have dictionaries anymore. We don't ask, well, how do I get from A to B? Now we ask Alexa or Siri, or we type in, and it gives us the directions. I mean, this is already here with that technology. How much people are using it at the moment, that's really a different story, because I think it's all of that's available are totally underutilized. And I'm interested also about this Bitcoin. I'm not an investor of Bitcoin for that matter, but I'm interested how the cryptocurrencies, and also particularly the blockchain, which is the smart contracts, and also how this is democratizing the marketplace. That in one way it's cutting out the middleman. And we have a comment here from Sam Björklund. I said, I think this is a very good platform. Like Airbnb takes so large shares that the local platform is a good idea. So he's basically saying what you are doing is a better idea than he has seen from Airbnb. It takes a lot of footwork, but the rewards are good and important. Would be very interesting to attend the local festivities with local people, Sam Björklund. So he is just mentioning this, something he appreciates very much what you are doing. Thank you, Sam Björklund, for that comment.
Yeah, thank you for the insight. Yeah, I agree. We try to do our first steps into creating better models, right? That's our idea. Hopefully, we'll be successful. Firstly, on national level, and hopefully then some other will use our case for adopting our model elsewhere, or even we will try to adopt it, right?
Okay, Jaka, I have another question for you. You look back at year 2020. What has been your personal biggest accomplishment for 2020?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. I guess I learned that I have to constantly push myself out of comfort zone, so I can personally grow and develop new skill sets. Because I could just use the pandemic as an excuse to stay put at home and watch Netflix, play video games all day. But I actually pushed myself not to throw the year away, and I seized every opportunity that presented itself. And like that, I got involved in the projects that I'm talking about today. I was even living abroad for 7 months. I just came back from Scotland in these crazy times. Actually, I even was on a local radio this year, and here I am with my first podcast episode. So yes, stepping out of my comfort zone was definitely the biggest accomplishment that I did, and I didn't let the events that are happening around us really affect me, but I just followed my path. And yeah, that's, I guess, is my advice and realization for you as well, that you just have to follow your own path and not really worry about what's happening around you. Yeah, just keep pushing and get yourself out of your comfort zone.
That's a very good advice. Any more questions from our viewers? We'd like to still have time with Jaka, and then if you can just share any questions or comments that you have, because we have now viewers from around the world, from Asia, from Europe, and possibly some comments that I don't see here to see where everybody is viewing from. But it's quite an interesting activity that you are doing, and there must be a way how you can get your platform and knowledge to create this knowledge that you are doing, whether it would be in one of the tourism conferences coming up in the future, where you can share your learnings and also give advice to people. And then of course all kinds of organizations, all kinds of membership clubs available, whether it's a Rotary, meaning that has been a businessman's club, or business person's club, and then they have Rotaract, which are for the younger and who are not turned 30 yet, and those are the things, because they are one of the things that they can do to help the community.
Yeah, actually, all of our founders are still in in the academia, so I think we will really try to document every aspect of our project, because I'm writing my thesis with the help of this project on the terms of how to build communities. I even developed a virtual community place where all tourism stakeholders can join in and share their knowledge and ideas. So that's something I've been working on. And then, of course, Rudy does his own podcast, which he uses for researching for his master thesis. And even today, he's a PhD student. So he's using the whole Locals from Zero project for his PhD. So even I am excited of how much insights can possibly develop from this project in the future as well. Yeah.
Very good. We have another question here. How do you get feedback from visitors who are visiting any of those service providers? Do you have a feedback mechanism to get some understanding of how they enjoyed, and good or bad, or any comments?
Yeah, so on the platform right now, we have a quite basic review system. So if somebody visited the experience, he can write a comment. And then on the platform that we are developing right now in the backend, it has a little bit more complex system, so that you can only put the review in if you actually been on the experience. So if you actually paid for the experience and actually been there, you can then review the provider, and you can also review the scout. So if he did a good job. So yeah, we thought about a review system as well quite a lot. And yeah. Very
good. We have a viewer from Malta, Alex Kutayar. Interesting episode. Well done. So thank you, Jaka. You are giving a lot of good, interesting information for the Malta community also. So really appreciate it. Thank you, Alex, for your feedback.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see what else we could. We know a little bit more about Jaka, and then what you have learned about yourself, and what are your plans now for this year in terms of the Locals from Zero or the Tourism from Zero activities?
Yeah, of course, we want to launch as soon as possible when our platform will be ready. Hopefully that will be in May. Of course, always some kind of technical problems may rise up, but in May we hopefully will launch our platform and try to market it first of all to Slovenians, and hopefully we will get enough feedback to know where to go in the future. Yeah.
That's very good. Yes. Um, well, Jaka, thank you very much. I think this has been a very great opportunity to get to know you and providing this very interesting information about what your activities are, and I'm sure we will need to bring you back for another episode here a little bit later on at the year to see what is new in with the locals from zero and tourism from zero. And we will put into for the viewers of YouTube who are watching this from YouTube, I will put in the website for you to see that. And if you are on LinkedIn, we will put that website into the comment of this broadcast, and also for the Facebook viewers, we'll put that into the comments so you can learn more about what are the activities and then the interesting podcast that your colleague Rudy is doing. We put that also in so they can also follow the various activities on the podcast and so on. So this is a way that they can keep in touch with Jaka and the team of what is going on. But I went to the sort of the beta website, and I thought there was some very interesting tours, and I felt like you can go to some horseback riding through some kind of a forest, and you can go to places where you can get some very delicious honey, which is especially from one area, or you can have there was somebody making some shoes. It was a shoemaker who is using a very traditional technique with no nails, or something that was very interesting. I just liked all the different things that gave it a very wholesome and very interesting way of doing things.
Yeah, I think it's really important to find those locals who have different passions and interests, and just allow tourists that when they travel, they actually book something that matches their passions, so they can actually experience something and learn something. So I think this is the future of how we will travel, our newer generations. That's my opinion.
Very good. Well, again, Jaka, thank you very much for this, and so we will stay in touch so we can share more of the information that we have experienced with you. So I'd like to thank all the viewers who were watching us on LinkedIn, also from YouTube. If you are watching the replay on YouTube, you will see some videos coming here, which you can see the last episode, the first episode we had about locals from zero, and also some interesting episode about the future of micro hospitality. So this is Sam-Erik Ruttman, and you've been watching the Hospitality Insight, and looking forward to seeing you in our next episode.